Hey guys, Lawrence here, and in this video, what I'm going to do is walk you through exactly how I would make 10K a month if I had to start again from scratch, not knowing anything I know, not knowing anybody I know, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do so maybe you can do the same. Now, whether you're just starting out and you want to get to 10K a month, or maybe you're at 10K a month and you want to get to, say, 100K per month, the lessons I'm going to share in this video are applicable to everybody, because it's really the fundamentals of business that are going to be able to take you from where you're at now to where you want to be. And as long as you keep these three things in mind that I'm going to walk you through, you're not going to go too far wrong. So let's jump onto my screen and I'll walk you through exactly how we are going to get you from 0 to 10K per month, or from 10K a month and beyond. As you can see here from my nifty little drawing, we've got 3 steps to get you to 10K per month and beyond. And I'm going to walk you through each step individually, and we need to crack these in order. If we do number 2 without number 1, then it ain't going to work. We do number 3 before we do number 2, that ain't going to work either. So we need to make sure that we've got all of these 3 things and we've got them in order. That's how you're going to be able to get to whatever goal that you want to get to. Number 1 here is all about our offer. And a lot of people bang on about this. And the reason you hear this so often is because it's so important. The mistake I see time and time again is people go and start a business because they want to start a business in that field. And that's the first mistake, and probably the biggest mistake. The easiest thing to do is to sell something that people want to buy. That's what it all boils down to. You sell something that people want to buy, it's pretty easy to sell it. So the first thing we need to think about when we're creating our offer is sell something people actually want. Now, let's say, for example, I had a shoe store, and I had a shoe store in the middle of the street, and my target market was, let's say, like 15 to 25-year-old guys. And I was selling, I had to go through the exact same process as every other shoe seller. I had to source the shoes, I had to pay rent in the store, I had to do all this stuff, I had to hire employees, and I was selling some real nice black leather Velcro shoes with a nice thick wedge at the bottom of them, and they were just pug ugly. Nobody wanted them. They're ugly, they're horrible, are just the opposite of what everybody wants. And then let's say across the street from me, we've got somebody selling Nikes. We've got somebody selling Nikes, and they're selling what people want to buy. They got the hottest shoes, they got what everybody wants. And I'm sat here thinking, why is nobody buying my stuff? And it's because I'm selling something people don't want to buy. It's so much easier to figure out what people want to buy first and then sell them that. When it comes to the offer, what do people want? So it's very good for us to sit here and say, sell something people want. We've got to know what people want. So how do we find out what people actually want to buy? Well, there's a few things we can do. We basically got to do market research. What does market research look like? It looks like looking at Facebook groups. It looks like going into maybe school groups. It looks like going on to YouTube. We basically got to figure out what it is that our audience want. Who, if we're selling to a particular type of person, what do they want to buy? That's what it ultimately all boils down to. And then once we know what it is that they want to buy, guess what we do next? We sell them the thing that they want. And that's really what an offer comes down to. As I say, so many times I see people, they've got this thing that they want to sell and they're trying to ram it down people's throats and they don't want it. And it's so difficult to sell, because when was the last time that you bought something that you didn't want to buy? Never. That's what it boils down to, basically. Figuring out what people want and then selling them it. So, and then the next layer down is like, how do we find out what people want? Well, we go into Facebook groups, we go into school groups, we go on YouTube, we see what people are talking about, we see the questions that people are asking. How are you getting more clients? How are you doing this? How are you getting in better shape? What are people doing to achieve XYZ result? Finding out what people want. Or, God forbid, you simply ask people. You just ask them, what, if I could give you like one thing, what would it be? And then if somebody says, I would love this thing, I would love this, I would love a blue mug with a handle on the side. And you say, okay, cool. If I create a blue mug with a handle on the side, will you buy it? Yes, I will buy it. Okay, great. Wait right there. You run off, you create the thing, and then you sell it to them. Sounds very simplistic, but that is basically it. So step 1 in our 3-step process is the offer. That is number 1. When it comes to number 2, what have we got with number 2? This is your attention mechanism. your attention mechanism. So what do I mean by this? It's basically a way of getting your offer known by your customers. How do you tell people that you've got something to sell? And this is maybe a little bit more straightforward than people think. There's really, at a high level, 3 main ways that we can gain attention when it comes to kind of online advertising. We've got organic. Organic looks like things like this, a YouTube video. It looks like social media and basically building an audience. We've also got paid ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, Hulu ads. And then the third thing is we've got outreach. Now, all of these 3 have their own time and place. They're all relevant at some point for you. And now what we need to now understand is what is the best place, or where should I say is the best place to start. And that's going to be different depending on your individual circumstances. So let's run through when these might make more sense for you. Organic, I would say, is probably, you could argue, the best place to start. And the reason it's the best place to start is because it takes a long time. So the sooner you start it, the sooner you'll start to see results. What you don't want to necessarily do is wait until outreach and paid ads is cranking and then think, right, great, and now I'll start doing some organic, I'll start building an audience, that sort of stuff. You want to start building this audience as quickly as possible because it takes time. How much time does it take? It really depends. It depends on how broad your market is, how broad your offering is, but the sooner you can start this, the better. One of the things that I regret the most in business is not starting organic soon enough. The reason being is it takes so long to start to see results. So although this is a great place to start, it's not something that you can do alone. You can't do this on its own and do nothing else, because yes, you can get to 10K per month, but it's going to take you a very, very, very long time to get there if you only rely on organic. So we need something else, which kind of leaves us to paid ads or outreach. When it comes to paid ads, the main thing about paid ads is scale. It allows you to achieve more quicker because you're paying for it. You don't need to build attention through organic. You can just say, here you go, Mr. Zuckerberg, here's a bunch of cash, go get me some attention. And you're buying traffic ultimately. The problem with it is that it can be very expensive. Now, it is very expensive. It's just whether or not you've got everything in place to be able to convert that attention in a very effective way, in a very cost-effective way. Because if you don't, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to be spending all this money and you're not going to see a return on it. One of the big mistakes that I see is people start doing paid ads way before they've got all of these 3 things in place. And if you were to have a fire, you've got a nice fire on the ground, and you pour some fuel, some gasoline onto that fire, then the fire's going to get bigger, right? Now, if there is no fire and you pour gasoline onto the ground, a fire is not going to emerge. So paid ads is really like adding fuel to the fire. You are just magnifying what you've already got. And if you haven't got the results that you want, then magnifying it is just going to magnify nothing, basically. So we need to make sure that we've got something in place first. And the most important thing is that you have a proven system to be able to take a complete stranger that doesn't know you, doesn't like you, doesn't trust you, and turn them into a paying client. Once you have that system nailed down, then you can start adding paid ads in. So it's a great place to achieve scale, but it's not necessarily the greatest place to start because it can be very expensive. Now, the best place to start, in my opinion, is outreach. The reason I say this is because it allows you to test very cost effectively. So let's say, for example, we've got our offer. We know what it is that people want, but maybe there's a couple of variations. We've heard a couple of different things. There's 2 or 3 things that people want. We're not sure which one is going to be the most effective. We don't necessarily know how to word it properly. We might know that people want more customers, but do they want 5 customers? Do they want 10? Do they want us to get them for them in 30 days? Is it 60 days? Is it 90 days? We just don't know the more finer details, basically. So we can use something like outreach to find that out in a very cost-effective way. And the great thing about outreach is it acts as a sounding board, a sandpit, a testing place to be able to find out everything we need to know so that then we can start maybe running paid ads. We don't necessarily need to ever run paid ads. Most people can get all the calls, all the clients, all the money that they want purely through cold outreach if they do it properly. So cold outreach might look like DMing people across a multitude of platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or it might look like email, or it might look like calls. And we're basically just finding out, we've got the thing that people want, and now we're just trying to get attention. We're just trying to get attention. And in my opinion, the best way to do this to get instant results is through outreach. It is by far, and I say this from experience because I've tried everything, I'm doing everything, it is by far the most cost effective. And if you are, whether you're just starting out or whether you're at 10K per month, whether you're at 20K per month, wherever you're at, this is going to be the best place to start. If you have outreach nailed down and you're generating, say, maybe above 50K per month with outreach, then sure, start looking at paid ads perhaps. If you want to get to that next scale, you want to do that quickly, then maybe paid ads is for you. But until you're there, until you've got to say 50K per month through outreach alone, I don't think you should be looking at paid ads. So the second step to basically getting to 10K per month is attention. Now remember, we said that we got to get there in order. There's no point having all this attention and not having something to sell them or not knowing what you're selling them, because you're just burning through the attention. You're just wasting it. And it's difficult to get somebody's attention once you've already kind of lost it. So to regain attention is a bit harder than to gain it in the first place. That's step one. We've got the offer. Once we've got the offer in place, we need an attention mechanism to get us there. Let's say that we're going to help realtors get more clients, and then the attention, we need to get their attention. We've got our offer. We're going to basically reach out to them. We're going to pick up the phone. We're going to call them. We're going to send them emails, and we're going to DM them. And we're going to test a bunch of different variations of our offer just to make sure and find out which one is going to make the most sense before we start doubling down on that proven messaging. And then once we get to a nice place, say 50K per month through outreach, then maybe we look at paid ads. And throughout the entire process, we're doing organic as well, which is not only going to bring us in new customers further down the line, but it's also going to act as a great way for people that maybe saw your cold email and think, who's this dude? And then they go and check out your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever it may be, and they see that this guy's legit. He can probably help me, he or she can help me, and it just makes the sales process a lot smoother. So step number 3 is, once we've got the offer in place, we've got their attention, now we need to turn the attention into customers and money. So number 3 is a conversion mechanism. Now, a conversion mechanism is basically, how do we get somebody from stranger that's seen our message and they've been exposed to what we're offering, how do we get them into a paying client? So basically, it's like the process to take stranger and turn them into money. We can't have this conversion mechanism before we've got the offer and the attention. It's all got to happen in order. The easiest way to do this is through a call. You can try and close people through DMs, you can close them through webinars, through things like that. But the easiest way, the most effective way, is to do it through a call. Now, there's times where doing it through a call might not make the most sense from a time perspective. If you're selling something at a very low price, a very low ticket, then calls are probably not going to be the most effective way for you to grow long term. But if you want to achieve your goals quickly, you want to get to say 10K per month very quickly, then it doesn't matter about what is the most streamlined, scalable thing. You need to forget all of that stuff and just think about, like, what's the most effective way to get me there? What's going to be the quickest way to get me to that 10K a month? And then once you're there, you can start to reassess and make things more efficient, make things more streamlined. But the first thing you need to do is basically get to that goal. And the best way to do that is through a call. Now, when we're on a call, here's where most people go wrong. They call it a sales call. And I don't mean they call it like a sales call. They title that when they're trying to get clients through the front door. I don't mean that. What I mean is that they think of it as a sales call in their head. And the problem with that is you're then trying to sell someone, and nobody likes to be sold to. So if it's a sales call, it doesn't really work that well. What I like to view it as, and I don't care what you technically call it, but it's what you inside yourself view this as. It's got to be a discovery call. And the difference between a sales call and a discovery call is that a discovery call is where you're finding out whether or not it makes sense to work together. You're discovering whether this is going to be a good fit. So how do you discover whether it's going to be a good fit? You basically got to find out where they're at, where are you now, and then you've got to find out where do you want to be, where do you want, and then you've got to find out whether or not what you've got can help. So can I help? If the answer is yes, then you go on and explain how and explain why. And if the answer is no, then you say goodbye and maybe you point them in the direction of somebody that might be able to help them achieve their goals. And so it's not about this thing of trying to persuade somebody to come and work with you. It's about saying, you've got this problem and you want to solve this problem. I've got a solution, and I'm pretty sure based off everything you've told me that this solution can solve that problem. So it kind of makes sense to work together. This is how we will solve that problem for you. This is what it looks like. These are the deliverables. This is the kind of results that you can expect to achieve working with us. And then you can kind of drop the price and bring them on board. It's these 3 things. So we now have here, step 3 is a conversion mechanism. And sorry, I can't spell, but that's meant to say mechanism. And really, this is at a high level all it is. We don't need to overcomplicate things. We need to have an offer, something that people actually want. That's the first thing. Something that people actually want. Try selling something to somebody that they don't want to buy. Very difficult to do. Put yourself in your prospect's shoes. Have you ever bought something that you do not want to buy? No. So just reverse engineer it. Find out what people actually want. Sell them that. The next thing, once we've got the thing that people want, we need to be able to tell everybody about it. We've got organic, we've got paid, we've got outreach. Outreach is by far the most effective. And then we've got a conversion mechanism. Once we've got their attention, how do we turn them into paying clients money so we can get to 10K a month or whatever it is that your goal is? That is the 3 steps. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. And as long as you stay high level and keep kind of reminding yourself of these 3 steps, you'll be able to get yourself to your goal. Now, if you want help with these things, if you want help creating a better offer so that you can then put it in front of more people, and ultimately you want to grow your business, then we can help. Below this video, first link in the description will explain exactly how, and click that link, watch the video, and it'll tell you exactly how we can help. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that like button, that subscribe button, help the channel grow. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.